Hi, 7th grade. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. I'm feeling excited to be back at it. We're going to dive right into the middle of chapter 12, which is volume. So we were talking about 3D figures. We were naming the different figures. We were finding the surface area of the different figures. And now we're going to focus on volume, which I think is the next 3 or so lessons. The first one, starting on page 465, is prisms and cylinders, and they're grouped together because they have a similar formula. In the past, for volume, you might have used length times width times height. For volume, you just multiply the 3 different numbers. But that's not the case for anything that isn't a cube. So that only works for cubes and rectangular prisms. But when the shape is a triangle or the shape has a circle, that doesn't work. So we're going to focus on the new formula, which works for all of them. Okay? So volume, let's start with that. Volume is the number of cubic units, so 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, that fill any 3D figure. There's a good visual in your book on page 465. I'm not going to draw it, but if you want to take a look, it has a rectangular prism, and then they slowly fill the rectangular prism with the cubic units one layer at a time. And the total number that it takes is your answer, right? So if you were thinking about a Kleenex box and sugar cubes, however many sugar cubes it took to fill the Kleenex box completely would be your answer for volume. So here we have rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, and cylinders. We're going to use this same formula. We need to find the area of the base. This is always the shape. The area of the base is the shape. So that would be the circle. Find the area of the circle if it's a cylinder. If it's a triangular prism, you're going to find the area of the triangle first. And then you multiply by the height. Okay? We're going to do a few until you get the hang of it. I'm going to follow the examples that are in your book. The first one is a rectangular prism. It's a rectangle that's 3 by 5, and then it has a depth of 4 inches. Didn't quite leave enough room. Okay. Draw the shape as best you can. The base is a rectangle, which is, so the area of the base, area A of base, is 3 times 4. It's a square down here, or a rectangle. So it's just length times width, right? And then we're going to take that and multiply that by the height. So we're going to do 12 times 5. And 12 times 5 is 60. It didn't give us, I didn't write any units, so I'm going to write units. It's important to note that since we're talking about cubic units, that you give your answer cubic units, whatever it is, centimeters, millimeters, whatever, units, it should be cubed. Okay? Let's do another one. Example 2 is a triangle, kind of on its side, and it's 3D, so it's a triangular prism. Draw it as best you can. Here they have a lot of the same numbers. They've got 4 centimeters on the bottom, 3 centimeters along the side, and then 6 centimeters along the top back, okay? All right, so again, I'm gonna go back. Area of the base. So area of the base, this time it's a triangle. So we know that for a triangle, the formula is base times height divided by 2. So in order to do that correctly, we're gonna have to do the entire formula and make sure that we remember to divide it. So the shape is a triangle. 3 times 4 divided by 2 gives us 6. The height is the depth in this case, how deep it is 6 centimeters. And 6 times 6 is 36 centimeters cubed. Okay, so when you're talking about area of the base, it's always the shape. Whether it's the bottom, the top, the side, the location of it doesn't matter. It's the shape, okay? And then the height doesn't have to be on, you know, a length, right? It doesn't have to be vertically. It can be horizontal. It's just the other number that isn't part of the area that you found initially. I hope that makes sense. All right. Lastly, we're going to find the area of a cylinder, or the volume of a cylinder. So I'm going to do my best to draw a cylinder. They drew a paint can, which looks much more realistic than mine. So the area of the base for a circle, I know I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves because I haven't labeled anything yet, but do you remember what that was? It involves pi. So there were 2. So pi r squared is area. The other one is circumference. That's to find the outside, 2 pi r. Okay. So for this one, they say 4 inches is the radius and 9 inches is the height. So they only give us 2 numbers. So the area of the base, that's our shape, no matter where it is a circle. So we're going to be using 3.14 times 4 squared, which is 16, right? So 3.14 times 16, which is, use your calculators. The book says approximately 50. And then we will take our 50 and multiply it by 9 because the height is equal to 9. 50 times 9 is 450 inches cubed. It looks like if you used a calculator, you would get closer to 452 inches cubed, okay? Both of these are going to be good answers. All right, I want you guys to try some, okay? Take a look. On page 466, and try the quick check number 2 near the bottom. It's asking for the prism if the height is doubled from the example that we did. Okay, so try that one. I also want you to try on page 467 the quick check A, 3A. So go ahead and pause it and try both of those, please. if you're back, these are the answers that you should have gotten for the quick check for homework tonight. On page 468, I'd like you to try numbers 5, 7, 8, and 10 for problems. Thanks, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.